Welcome, everybody, to the Hoops Post Up. Today we are talking NBA updated news. NBA season is suspended.
Normally, we talk about headlines, burning questions, and things that are going on in the NBA as far as players and teams that are rising or falling. But this kind of just puts everything into perspective. Just found out, literally an hour ago, the rest of the season is suspended. So, indefinite suspension, we don't know what that means as far as time length. It could be the rest of the season, and we don't know what's going on because now we have actual NBA players testing positive for the coronavirus. Probably heard of that in the news, and now it's affecting the sports world all over. NCAA tournament games are going to go on without fans. Who knows how many other things are going to get canceled? Baseball season's about to start, but in terms of NBA, again, the season is indefinitely suspended. There will be no more games until further notice.
So we had some updates. We were out and we were going to do a different video actually tonight. We were going to be talking about how the Spurs aren't going to make the playoffs. But in all seriousness, the coronavirus is actually affecting our sports world. Rudy Gobert, right? He is tested positive for the coronavirus. So, we continue to, hear good things with regard to his teammates. He says he's feeling fine. He's feeling good. His plans were to actually play tonight in his game. So,
I mean, you hope for the best. It's one of those things you expect the worst, right? And so far, it's a lot more serious than we even thought it might be. That's spreading everywhere quickly, but obviously putting things in perspective, like I said, we wish the best for him. Anybody who else might be affected. This goes way beyond sports. We are going to talk a little bit about how this does affect the league itself. So at this point right now, again, we don't know if there's going to be any more games played or not. This isn't the first, right? Obviously, there have been seasons shortened before, usually because of strike or something like that.
but this obviously is very
This is
unique,
different.
a very different situation from what we have heard last via like news media, NBA TV. Now it affects the way the players going back to OKC referees. Apparently, there was a referee who had just reffed the games a couple days prior to tonight's game, and he was in a different location, and so he's actually having to be quarantined. And then the team is now working with health officials, and they may be quarantined as well. So they're not able to get back to their families. They're not able to travel at this point. There has to be an unfolding plan, and we don't know what that actually is going to look like. But we have to take this seriously. We have to understand that it is more than basketball. And we pray for the health of all those people who may have been exposed and those are involved in this coronavirus situation.
Absolutely. So it goes without saying, you've probably heard this already, but just be safe, stay indoors if you can. Don't go out in public, especially crowded places. Wash your hands. I'm not going to say go out and stock up on water, and toilet paper and all these things. And, don't cause a panic. Don't overreact because obviously we don't know the severity of this yet. Just be smart, right? That's the best thing we can do is be informed, be smart. Don't overreact to the media, which tends to overreact at times.
Just be rational
Be
and
smart.
take precautions, right? They're trying to prevent any other cases from happening or the virus being spread. So they're being proactive. They're being mindful of individuals involved, and it is, a health issue, and they want to make sure that everybody is safe. So I appreciate how quickly the NBA did respond, and they just canceled. And they had they were going to wait until Thursday. There was one last tip off tonight, I believe in Sacramento, and they canceled that game. Fans were in the stands. Fans were there, and they were walking out as they are, finding out about what had happened. But that apparently that official who was going to be refereeing that game had been a part of the other game where Rudy Gobert was playing. So
Definitely better to be safe than sorry. I mean, there's no point risking thousands of people, being infected. It's already spreading fast enough. So I do appreciate, putting health concerns over money and profit. Very smart. And, like you said, kudos to the league for being proactive. NBA is usually very good about that above, most of the major sports. So let's talk basketball quickly. As far as what's going to happen now, we don't know what's going to happen with the virus. Let's assume that the season doesn't start again. I mean, by the time
there are
this all
15
cleared out,
games left in
it's
the
almost
season.
over, right? I
Yeah,
mean, I think there's a
an
really good
average.
chance that this is it, right? The way it is the way it is. So number one question is final standings. Is this it? I mean, number one seed is going to be set. Whoever's in the playoffs, that's it. Do you think that the playoffs are set? And are there going to be playoffs?
I don't know. I don't know what their plan would be. I kind of think about the lockout season and what that was like. Didn't they come back later and they ended up playing a finals game? And that was not until like late June or July. And so,
Well, we
I'm,
do know the team that was affected in '99. That according to Phil Jackson, there's an asterisk by
yes,
the
against,
season.
yeah,
That thank you,
my
Phil
Spurs
Jackson. No
championship. Yeah,
bitterness
yeah,
there
yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah, no, no, no.
'99, and but yeah, like you said, they eventually finished it out, had
Yes.
playoffs, shortened season, and then they crowned the champion. Do you think it's going to be like that?
For me, I think that they probably will revisit once they know a little bit more, once they see, I guess, the progress and some of the things that they have done to prevent this virus from spreading. I think when they know more, they'll be able to be a little bit more. Um,
Prepared and informed. And yeah. So if the season were to end right now, of course, Milwaukee kind of fortunate for them, believe it or not, on a 3-game losing streak. So it would halt their skid. Still the number one seed though, 53-12. They have these pretty much locked up.
mhm.
The Raptors, kind of surprisingly, be number two. Surprising to me, I guess. The number two seed, Boston number three. The Heat would have a home court advantage. Number four, Indiana holding on number five, just barely. The Sixers are actually tied with them at number six. And then we have Brooklyn and then Orlando
At the eighth spot.
at the eighth spot.
Hmm.
And then the West, no surprise.
Okay, we have the Lakers being in the first spot, Clippers at number two. The Nuggets are sitting at number three. And yes, they were prepared to travel to San Antonio tonight, and that has been rerouted. And actually, they're not exactly sure what's going to happen. Um, Number fourth spot, Utah Jazz, and then fifth, the Thunder. Wow, that is surprising to me. I did not see OKC being in the fifth spot. That for me is a surprise.
Definitely did not nobody forecast that before the season. And those are the two teams like right now being quarantined, right? Because Rudy Gobert, Utah, and the OKC, they're stuck in OKC. Who knows what's going to happen? Just 24 hours ago, it was a big game battling for home court advantage, number four seed, and now just hoping that everybody's safe.
Right, right. And then at the number six spot, we have the Rockets. Seven, Dallas Mavericks. My Spurs actually beat them last night. It was quite nice to watch that. But they're at the seventh spot. And then the eighth seed. We knew this, right?
Not the Spurs. It's the Grizzlies.
We
They're
knew
climbing back.
this.
They're almost 500 now, so at
Yeah.
least actual winning
They were
record possibly for a
actually
team making the
scratching
playoffs.
their
That's
way
good.
back.
That race will not, possibly not going to see how it would have unfolded, but Memphis definitely deserving of that playoff spot.
Now, something I thought was unique and different to this season ending so quickly. Someone that I've watched for many years, and I'm sure you have as well, Vince Carter. This is his last season, and he's on retirement, and he was playing tonight. And as he was hearing, like halfway through the game, he's hearing those rumors about the, season being suspended. And so he was reflecting on that, and he was, talking about how that was going to end for them. And you know what? He put it all in perspective, and he's like, it's more than basketball. We're thinking of the health and the wellness of others. So kind of bittersweet for him on how it kind of ended for him.
Yeah,
But he
not
had a
definitely
lot of
not
games
not the
that
way
he
you thought things
enjoyed,
would shake out, but
right?
I mean, yeah, it's catching everybody by surprise. But again, definitely the smart move. I mean, you have to put it to perspective, right? So, a lot of reactions still coming in. We still don't know, right? This is just the beginning of it, not the end. But for the time being, the end of the NBA season, we'll see what happens. For all we know, hopefully, if everything breaks the way we'd like, in a couple of weeks, this is kind of all cleared up and it's contained, and then hopefully things get back to some sense of normalcy. That's what we're hoping for.
Absolutely.
But we'll see.
All right. So this was our, updated news on the NBA's suspension of the season. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We will be back. We will continue to talk NBA. We will continue to talk our sports. This
Hmm.
won't be the end of our season per se.
Right. We're not
Um,
suspending our season.
no, we're not suspending our season. We're going to continue to put updates for, our viewers. And thank you so much for watching today.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
All right. Peace and love, everyone. Be safe.